Hey folks, I'm Alan, and this is going to be a live coding video where we go through and use the bitty.js web component that I made to make a little input and output for my tool site that finds and removes duplicate lines. To give you an idea what I'm talking about, so this is my existing tool site. I just got a bunch of little tools in here where this one makes markdown lists. So this is a line, this is another line. You can put them here. You can do whatever. And it turns everything into markdown. You can do lists or you can do numbers. I want a really simple tool just like that that does duplicate line removal. So that's what we're going to do. The current ones have been made with web components with just plain vanilla JavaScript. So this is going to be the first time that I really kind of use Bitty to go through and run it. So that's what we're going to work on. So let's get started. The first thing I'm going to do is go to the Bitty site real quick and grab the file. So let's just make, we got a scripts directory. Let's just make a Bitty. This is version 0.3.0.js. I just happen to know that. Eventually it'll be 1.0, but there's the thing. Okay, so now what we can do is just put Bitty in here. And this particular site is built with a little site engine that lets me do this. So there's just a wrapper here. We're going to do script source equals scripts bitty version 0.3.0.js. That's going to be type equals module. And we need to close the script like that. And I should be able to get that out of the way for a second. So there's that. So we should have the script on the page now. I'm just going to open up our console there. Didn't see errors explode, so that's a good sign. Okay, so now what we want to do is figure out how we're going to put this on here directly. I think what I'm going to do is just start up top. And here's the DuckDuckGo stuff. So these are all the top level searches that I've got that you can just type straight in. Let me find lines to markdown. So there's lines to markdown. Let's make a new one here. And again, these were like the way that this one works is in this components, there's this lines to markdown, which is a full component in and of itself. So there's all the logic, there's all the stuff that it's doing. What we're going to do with this one is a little bit different. We're going to go bitty.js, and we're going to do data connection equals, and we don't have the file yet. I'm going to make a new directory over here for tools, and we're going to call this the duper duper.js. And that'll be our module. Inside our module, we need to do export default class just to have something for it to hit. And here we go back here, data connection. We're going to do, failed to fetch. So there's our exploding thing. Perfect. bitty.js, data connection, and we just did tools, dedupe, JS. And then we close the bitty tag. And the error hopefully goes away. Tools, dedupe, not found. Why not? Deduper, because I did a different thing. Deduper, save. There we go. Okay, so we cleared the errors. We're good to go there. Now what we want to do is just start making the actual thing. So I'm going to pull down. Actually, know what we're going to do. I'm going to put this all the way at the top of the page just because we're working with a kind of limited space here. And we'll run it from there. So if I put this here, what happens? Just drop some text in there so we can see it. Let's put it actually all the way up here above. Cool, there we go. So I think what I want to do is do text area. And then this is just going to be the input. Text area. And this will be the output. I'm not going to worry about styling or any of that stuff right now. We're just going to work on functionality. So here's output. Input and output. Sweet, good to go. Okay, so I think what I want to do is do data send equals update. And then here we're going to do data receive update. RECEIVE update. Cool. And that should give us that. Oh, let me get rid of that for a second. And now close the wrapper, get back to the deduper. So if I click in here and do anything, Oh, it didn't change. Interesting. Or it didn't explode. Oh, I didn't save the file. Let's see if this explodes now. No. Do we have to do changed? I don't know. Kind of thought that was going to explode. Let's do update. And this gets sent in an element and an event. We're not going to need the event, so we can just make it that. Console log that, save. Now, do I see anything? Yeah, there it is. Okay, so it is firing. That text is very small. Let me see if I can make it larger. I don't appear to be able to. There you go. That'll help a little bit, hopefully. Yeah, so what's happening is every time I do an import over here, it calls through this function and it's passing it the element. So what I should be able to do is this is getting actually the receiving output as its element, and the event is the input signal that's coming in. So if I do, let's see, console log event target, which is going to be this input field, and I do that value, or is it in HTML? I'm not sure. I forget how text areas work. What if we do this? Yeah, okay, so there's our input. Sweet. And then what we want to do is right now, so the first thing I want to do is just move that straight over to our output. So we're going to do L inner HTML equals event target value. Save. What should happen is if I type in here, we see it go straight to the output. So that gives us the wiring back and forth between the input and the output. Let's add a little more space here. So rows equals 7, 6, whatever. Rows equals 6. Save. There we go. A little more space. So this is the thing, etc. And you can see that it's actually starting when I refresh the page. It starts with our placeholder text, so the output. And as soon as I hit a single character, actually, as soon as I jump in there, it sends a signal and it's replacing that with the thing. So, or with the input chain. That's fine. We'll actually make this just go away now and leave this here for now. Yeah, let's just do that. Let's clear it all the way out. So now we're starting with here, and we do this. We do this is some stuff. Cool. So there's our text. Oops, trying to save that file. Did not work there. We don't need this console log here anymore. But what we can do now is do the logic to actually run through and do the dedupe. And the way that I'm going to do that is like this. So we're getting this inner HTML. Sorry, we're getting this target value. So let's do this. Yeah, how are we going to do this? This will probably work. I think it was going to work. Stand by. We're going to do const. I forget what language I'm working on right now. Lines equals event target value split. And this is just my particular tool, so I don't have to worry about the different types of splits between operating systems or whatever. Like it's on my machine, it's on this Mac, or it's live on the site or whatever. But like, I'm not worried about all the necessary parts to make it like super robust for lots of other people at the moment. Let's just do this console sole.log lines go. And so now if we paste some stuff over here, yeah, we're seeing those come in. Seeing our individual lines helps if we do something different. So this is a new thing, and we can see that each one of these is coming in as its own independent line. So I think the best way to do this is I'm going to go, so we've got our lines coming in, and I think what I want to do is make a new array called scene. Because then what we can do is I can go, and then we'll do const output equals this. Because what I can do is I can go lines for each line singular. We'll run this. And then we just want to do, for now, like we could map this or we could filter this. Is that a better way to do this? Filter? Whatever. I'm just going to push it up this way. I can't remember how the JavaScript filter stuff works. So lines for each. Here, we're just going to do this. First, let's just move all the lines to start with. So we're going to go output dot push line. And then here, so let's do this. We're going to do L inner HTML equals whatever for right now. Whoops. And so we should just see ASDF as we type anything over here, right? Cool. But now if we do output join on /n, we should see our lines come through. Right. So it's just, we're splitting everything into array, and then we're making a new array that and joining back on the new line character. So now we just need to add our filter in here. And the way that we're going to do that is if, I can't remember what the JavaScript is for this. So let's pull up MDN here for a second. And MDN JavaScript, we want to look for includes, I think is the thing that we're looking for here. Yeah, includes too. Cool. So if we do this, so the first thing we want to do is if scene includes line, and we could do some trimming and some white space stuff in here. I'm not worried about that at the moment. So if that's true, actually we want, if it's not true, we want to push it to scene so that we know that it's there, and we want to push it to the output. That might get us kind of far. Let's see what this is doing. Whoops. So this, yeah, look at that. So there's our dedupe. And also, what's cool about this, so I've been using a Unix command to run this, but the Unix command, you actually have to sort everything first. One of the reasons I'm building this is so that I don't have to do a sort and then find the unique things, because in the Linux, Unix, Mac command line tool, it looks at one line and then the following line. So you have to sort everything to get them in the right place so it can actually do the comparison. The idea here is I want to be able to do alpha, Bravo, and if I do alpha down here, they don't have to actually be in the same order. But you can see that as soon as we get the duplicate line, they break out. And if we put Charlie here, CHARLIE, so there we go. And then delta down here. So there's our dedupe, or the first part of our dedupe. So let's go back over here, because there's a couple things that we probably want to do. No, actually, yeah, there's one thing that we want to do here that I can think of, which is new lines. So if I do alpha and I hit enter a bunch and then do Bravo down here, we're only seeing one new line, and that keeps getting chomped. So let's actually do Bravo, BRAVO, Charlie. We're only letting one new line come through, basically, because it's gets put into the scene array, and then when we see another new line, it's dropping it out. So first thing we want to do is if it is scene, or if it's include scene. So let's just do this. If line is not equal to empty, because we split on the thing. And again, I'm going to probably tweak this a little bit in a minute to make that be a regex, however you say it. Alpha space Bravo Charlie. Oh. It chomped all the lines. My logic's backwards. If line, wait, hang on. My logic's messed up here, obviously. Run this again. So alpha, Bravo, Charlie. So the line coming in console, let's just do this. console log, and we want to do ... line ... because I want to see what's actually hitting in there for errors. Those probably aren't real errors. I don't know. Multi errors. This. Yeah, so it is coming in as empty. So if line... Oh. Actually, I think I know what we need to do. So if line is empty, then we just want to push straight. Whoops. Then we just want to push straight to the output array. And then else if... Yeah, so if we see an empty line, we just straight push the empty line to the output so that they show up. And if not, we look to check and see if the line is in the scene array. And if it's not, we push it to the scene array and we push it to the output. And if it is, we just roll past it. I think that's going to get us there. So let's do this. This is here and here. Cool. And now if I do here again, it disappears. But I can put a new line here. Yeah, I think that's it. Okay, cool. So that is all we need to do is here's the HTML, is these 4 lines, and then this is the class, and everything else is just the wiring that Biddy sends back and forth for things. Pretty happy with that. So till next time, have a good one. See you then. Cheers.